one of my friends started laughing at me. I was like, dude, why the fuck are you laughing at me? I'm going to America. And he was like, well, I heard over there people don't wash their ass. Usually all my jokes are about myself. I put myself in a scenario and I make fun of myself that people watching me would realize they're doing that too. And now they just want to change before other people notice what they're doing. So a lot of times if I want to bring change, I think the best way I can bring change is through comedy.
Waka waka hey. Well, Shakira is not here. It's not the FIFA time, and this is not the time for Africa. But it's time for India and it's time for America, because Vishnu Vaka, one of the popular comedians here in United States, is right here in Bay Area for yet another great comedy show. Welcome to YoIndiaTV studios with me, Jasleen. And how's the feel?
Feels great. Thank you, Jasleen. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And I've been reading about your great America's self-driven tour across the world. So tell me a little more about it. What has been accomplished and what next?
Well, the tour, I named it Great Americans. I'm the Great American.
Why are you? Yeah, that was one of my questions, but let's start with that.
I mean, why can't I be, right? Why should it be some white guy that says... Because the thing is, people try to take things away from you to say they own, but I'm like, I can be that too. Hey guys, it's me, Vishnu Vaka. I'm a great American. If you don't believe me, check out the flag. That's right, I'm wrapped in American flag. Now you can't deny I'm a great American. I also drink bourbon because I'm all about America first. Yeah, if you don't drink bourbon, you don't pay your taxes, and you don't walk around with your American flag, you're not a great American. But I am a great American. That's why I pay my taxes, I drink bourbon, and I go around wrapped in American flag. I'm the great American. I always warned it. The thing is, when people tell me like go back to your country or something, I'm like, no, I am a great American. And self-driven, you have to come to the show to know what I really talk about. Self-driven, that's the secret. So you have to come to the show for self-driven. Mm-hmm. But the idea is, it's a great Americans self-driven tour. I'm going all over the world. I already went to India, Europe, and now I'm going all over USA. Tomorrow night, we're at San Jose Improv. I was like, how am I a legend at your school? And he's like, bro, you were in school, we were all in class, and one day you got a call from the principal's office, and you were gone. You didn't even come back to get your books. And the rumor was, principal killed you and buried you under the school. So right now, as I speak to you, I am haunting a school in India.
So how did it all started? I've heard that as a child you were a great storyteller, and then you translated this opportunity or instinct into jokes. But most of the people, as I see today, who are great storytellers, they want to be great leaders, corporate leaders particularly, or political leaders, and they tell stories to step up those ladders. You have stepped up as a stand-up comedian.
To tell you the truth, I haven't planned anything. Things just happen that way. My parents moved, by the time I hit 5th grade, I changed 14 schools. So,
what did your father do?
Well, he's a doctor, but he was working for Indian government, and he's one of the very junior doctors at the time, and they would place him in like Nalamalai forest, and he was traveling all over the area, and so they would keep moving me from place to place, which was okay, but for me, like, I keep missing my friends. So one way for me to make friends, I have to make them really quick. Wherever I go, I want to fit in. And I used to read a lot of books because I'm moving. I keep things keep changing. So for me, one of my books I can take with me. So wherever I go, I'm always reading books. I'm good with stories. So one of the things is when teacher is not there, I go tell a story to the class, and everybody, like, they keep asking me to tell more stories, and now there's a demand. But once I moved to America, when I was 15, but now I didn't know English, and all my stories are in Telugu, and all of a sudden now I'm like, wait a minute, like that one thing I have is gone. And it took me a while to retune myself and get English, get comfortable with English, and then restart my thing. And now I'm like, I used to watch Jay Leno, and that's when I realized that in America you can actually, there is a thing called stand-up comedy, and it's okay to make fun of politicians, and so.
Is it really okay after the Jimmy Kimmel going back and coming in again, on a limited basis? Do you still think
it is always okay? You can be scared and you can stop, or it's really on you. And the worst thing, what are they going to do? Like shoot at you from really far away?
Oh my God! Don't be the next Charlie Kirk.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if you're not the way I think about it is, this is a continuation of life. There's no end or beginning to it. And I have a theory. I call them bamboo theories. Again, that's my podcast. The idea is that in my head, I believe the number of souls in this universe is a constant. So no matter how many people die, there are how many births. So you're not going anywhere. You're just reincarnating into something else. So I'm not really worried about that. Don't come and shoot.
Why are you saying that? I think most of your jokes are centered around your wife, not around something else.
I do that. I also do political. I do make political comedy, but my point is not that I don't want to divide people. I want to bring people together, and I think comedy is a good weapon in that sense, because a lot of times when you criticize someone to their face, they don't like it. And in fact, they actually go the other way. They're like, just because you're criticizing, I'm going to go be more extreme. But if I were to put them in a scenario, usually all my jokes are about myself. I put myself in a scenario and I make fun of myself, that people watching me would realize they're doing that too. And now they just want to change before other people notice what they're doing. So a lot of times, if I want to bring change, I think the best way I can bring change is through comedy. I was at this one school. There was this skinny kid. He was being picked on by a bully, and I thought if I helped him, I could make some friends. So I told him, "Listen, man, I'm fat. I got your back. Go tell him we're going to kick his ass after school." Entire school was excited for this fight. It's a new fat kid and the skinny kid versus the school bully. We're about to change the history of that school. And that afternoon, my parents showed up. With a moving truck. I still wonder what happened to that kid.
Give one good example of a change that you accomplished through your comedy.
Well, when I started comedy, one of the things I noticed is I do a lot of shows. I was opening for big comedians, but everywhere, especially when I go south in America, like Texas, or I shouldn't generalize. Like some places, even in New Jersey, I'll have people. As I walk on stage, I could literally feel that sense that, oh, this 7-Eleven guy is going to make me laugh, because they have a bunch of 7-Eleven jokes. So I wrote a few 7-Eleven jokes from the perspective of a 7-Eleven worker. How stupid are you guys looking to me? So I have a joke about, getting robbed during the pandemic at a 7-Eleven, or I have a joke about me sitting at a 7-Eleven realizing, the pandemic is on because I ran out of toilet paper. And now I make them laugh with my 7-Eleven jokes. All of a sudden they realize I have better 7-Eleven jokes than they do. So now they take a back seat and now their ego is satisfied. They know that they can't touch me. So comedy is like that. I can own stuff. I can take control of it. And I don't have to be, I don't have to attack people. That's the thing. Like a lot of times, when we talked about Charlie Kirk, I think the reason he was, again, violence is not an answer. And that should not have happened. In fact, I was hoping I would get to meet him someday, so I could actually debate him and defeat him in a debate. And now it can't happen because poor guy got shot. And no matter how bad or evil, whatever you think, the division, like to think you can settle scores by violence is not going to work, because violence only extracts revenge. And once revenge is there, there is no logic. But through comedy, you can pull out logic, and this world is, the entire universe is built on logic.
Give one good example of a logical comedy that has entertained the people and that is meaningful, that people can have good takeaways from.
I would say 90% of the comedy is that. Any good comedian you see, if you're irritated by a comedian after seeing his joke, either you are absolutely, there is a problem with you, or there is a problem with the comedian. And usually, I can tell you 95% of the comedians, they don't have a problem. As long as the comedian is honest, you're fine. So logic is honesty, right? Like if I tell you a joke that is based on honest facts, you can't dispute me. Like so that is where honesty is logic. My parents have been prepping me about moving to America since I was a kid, but I did not want to come here because when they first told me we're moving, I went to school because I was like, I don't want to go. And my parents are like, well, over there we can have a swimming pool. And that kind of sold me on America. I was like, okay, fine. If I can have a swimming pool, maybe we can go to America. So I went to school, I told all my friends, I was like, dude, I think we're done, I'm going to be moving again. This time I'm going to America. I was so proud, I'm going to America. Like, fuck you guys, I've got nothing to do with you anymore. And one of my friends started laughing at me. I was like, dude, why the fuck are you laughing at me? I'm going to America. And he was like, well, I heard over there people don't wash their ass. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, dude, over there they use some kind of weird paper to wipe their ass. And walk around like that all day.
How do you take care of somebody's respect while making a joke out of him?
I don't disrespect anybody. That's why I make all my jokes about myself, because I can disrespect myself all the time. Because I have a very high self-confidence. In a way, I'm full of myself. That even people, they look down on me, it doesn't affect me. It just tells me who they are. So that's one of the reasons I'm a comedian. Because I can tell all the jokes about me and that don't hurt me, because so yeah, I disrespect myself. I don't disrespect anybody else.
So coming to the movies that you have done, I saw that you were an assistant director for the Telugu movie Ninnu Kori,
Yes.
and you have acted in the Telugu film Subramaniam for Sale and in the English film Liquor Run.
Yes,
So you are multifaceted. Tell us a little more about these movies, how you got there, how was your overall experience?
So initially, before I started doing comedy, I wanted to be a storyteller, and I thought naturally filmmaking is the way to do it. And I worked on different opportunities. I was doing line production. I was helping them with Subramaniam for Sale, and the director Harish Shankar, he looked at me. He's like, "You'll fit a character. You want to do it?" And he's like, "You want to act?" And I answered, "No, I like to direct." And he's like, "No, let me direct my movie, but if you want to act, I'll give you a role." So he gave me a role in that. And then Ninnu Kori, Kona Venkat is a great writer from Andhra. He was producing that show, that movie, and since I know him, I worked on few of his movies in New York. So he asked me if I want to assistant direct that. So I worked on that, and that's when I realized comedy is my path. Because with movies, I have to work with a lot of people. I have to, even my story, a lot of people will change it around, and I'll be like, I like my story. But with the stand-up, I just take it on stage, and if it doesn't work, I'll go fix it. But I don't have to worry about other people. So I started off in films, and then I went to comedy. But maybe in the future I'll come back with a movie too. Who knows?
That's really nice. And all the shooting was done here in US?
We did half of the movie in US. I was assistant director for half of the movie. And then they did half of the movie in Visakhapatnam or Vizag in Andhra. I did not expect, but that was a super hit movie, Ninukori. And frankly, I did not think it would be that big of a hit. So
you're lucky.
Yeah, lucky, yes.
I've heard that you believe that people who take themselves seriously are nincompoops.
Yeah.
Tell me what it is all about.
The meaning of it, but it just sounded funny. It ends with poop, so. No, the thing is, I don't like people. It's not even like, it's I notice when people are confident, they don't have to talk about themselves. Usually people that are talking about themselves are not confident. So they want to project that they're, so people, like for example, I make myself, like if you, before I wrote that line, I said, I'm the greatest comedian to ever walk the land, and I'm the best looking person. And then I said, people who take themselves seriously are nincompoops, because I wasn't being serious. I know I'm not the best looking guy. I know I'm not the greatest comedian, but at the same time, like in myself, I have that pride. Just because I'm proud doesn't mean I'm looking down on other people. But like, a lot of times when you are truly, honestly proud, you will lift up other people too. But when you are insecure and you are not proud, you are trying to reduce the other person down to your level. So usually when you meet someone that is like projecting their value and trying to prove to you that they're better than you, that tells me that they're actually not better than me, and they're trying to reduce me to their level. So that's where that came from. We survived the pandemic. We did that, right? We came through that. I didn't know what it meant. There I was minding my own business, my 7-Eleven. It's fine, you can laugh. I said it, it's okay. So there I was minding my own business, my 7-Eleven. All of a sudden I ran out of toilet paper.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, at a 7-Eleven, my customers are not looking for toilet paper. They're done shitting for the day. They're not looking for that. But not only was I out of it, some asshole took the one from the stall. And that's when I was like, yo, what the fuck happened to the toilet paper? And I couldn't find it even in the back of the store. I was like, something is going on out there. People are shitting a lot.
How do you find the balance between performing for Indian American audiences who share our cultural background and wider audiences who may be unfamiliar with your references?
Actually, most of my audience are not Indian. Indians are now recognizing me, but I've been doing this for past 8 years, and a lot of times I get booked with the bookers hoping I'll get the Indian people there, and I'll have like white people and black people, and they're like, where are the Indian people? Because that's how it's been for me. So I never distinguished between Indians or non-Indians. My comedy is human. If people doesn't know, I'll establish the setting. But other than that, if I'm doing it for Indian people and I'm explaining them like American people and I'm explaining an Indian culture thing, I will set it up for them, and vice versa. But other than that, I don't see difference in people. Guys, my name is Vishnu Vaka. If you can't tell by my accent, I am from Ohio. Columbus came to America to find Indians. I came to America to find Columbus. So I moved to Columbus, Ohio.
So when you have done opening for comedians like Russell Peters, Josh Blue, Godfrey, what lesson have you learned from them that shaped your performance?
Humility. Russell Peters, I mean, he's a superstar, but if you meet him, he's so humble, and same with Josh Blue, Godfrey. I mean, the thing is, when you meet these people and you realize, like, there's a reason these people are so great. Like, I don't have to, like, they don't have to ever tell me they're great. Like, the way they carry themselves, they're great people. And I'm just lucky that they let me into their circle. So, how I met them, again, like, it's their generosity that I got to meet them. Like, I did a guest spot for Josh Blue, and after the show, he pulled me aside. He said, "You're funny, and I'm looking, I usually like people like you open for me." And I just took that word and I chased him around the country. Wherever he's there, I'm there doing guest spots. Eventually, he's like, "You know what? I got to get you paid." And he gave me, he let me open for him, and he took me all over the country. Godfrey came to Stress Factory. I did a guest spot, and then he remembered me the next year, and he saw me there again, and he's like, "You did a spot last year, right? You're funny." And he gave me a spot this year, and he put me on his podcast. So again, it's him. And Russell Peters is a different level, because watching Russell, he came to my college, and watching Russell perform in live in front of me is when it's like, wow, like, this is what I want to be like. This,
Which college?
I was at Ohio State University, and he's amazing. And I wanted to go see him as a comedian, but I didn't feel worthy to go see him until I was like, I opened for Josh Blue. I was on Godfrey's podcast, and people are telling me I'm funny. Then I was like, you know what, I should go say hi to Russell. And I went to see him, and like an angel, I went to see him. I was just happy that I got to meet him, and he gave me a spot. And then next thing I know, like, I was opening for him. He took me not only in America, like, I opened in front of 21,000 people for him. He took me all over the world, like Singapore, Malaysia, and I feel very blessed that I am doing comedy. I got to meet amazing people. Like, another friend of mine is Pete Lee. He takes me on the road too. He's a good friend of mine. They're just the comedians as a breed. I think there is something special, and I'm just lucky I could be in that world. I was like, listen, British people ruled us for 200 years. They stole everything we got, and now that they're gone and we are rebuilding our country, all the smart people are leaving. I want to stay back and help with the rebuild. And my parents are like, son, who told you you were smart? If you don't know, you are the reason we are leaving India. Best thing you can do for India is leave. So that's how I showed up kicking and screaming. I did not want to be here. But as soon as I landed here, I gotta tell you, I fell in love with this country. I was like, I love this country, I belong here, this is it. You guys want to know why I fell in love with this country? You guys don't give a fuck, do you? You're literally dialing your phone like ice. Probably got him on your speed dial too. He's on stage right now, but he's going to get off in a couple of minutes. We got 4 exits to the building. If you need 2 people, he's kind of fat. So 2 for the door, let's make it 8. I know what you're thinking. But I'll tell you why I fell in love with this country. Because I found out I'm not fat anymore.
So when you incorporate your marriage and relationship struggles into your act, how does your wife feel about being part of your material? And do you have a creative process for bringing real life situations to the stage?
To tell you the truth, I don't write as I want to write, but I never wrote any joke. A lot of times, like something happens, and then I start talking about it on stage. Like my friend Pete Lee put it in best. He said, "You walk on stage with an idea, and you come out of stage with a joke." And a lot of times, one thing I make sure I do is I don't disrespect my wife on stage, because then she will kick my ass. I'm not gonna put myself in that spot. But I do talk about situations, and there are a lot of them where, just as a couple, our struggles and daily struggles, I talk about them. And a lot of times you speak in frustration. Or other thing is, as a man, I only know my perspective, but because she is there, I'm able to understand a woman's perspective too. And I think that makes my jokes more well-rounded.
Wow. So there are benefits as well.
Oh yeah. Like a lot of times I make a joke or something, the first criticism I get is from my wife. And the minute she says that's not right, I respect her opinion too, because she's right a lot of times. And then once I get that heat from her, and then I start getting heat from everybody else, I'm like, okay, I need to fix this joke.
How do your kids take it?
My kids, I'm kind of happy that I'm doing comedy for them, because growing up, two things I thought could not possible is I've never saw anybody lose weight, so I didn't think people could lose weight.
I did. I did, and then I became size 0, but in a couple of years I came back.
but like my point is, I used to be like 100, I used to be 180, 220, and I lost weight too. But the thing is, everybody does the same thing like sheep, and because everybody is doing it, you think that is the only way to live. So for example, IT job, or you get a good degree, get a job, and then you work to make money, so you will find happiness. And now doing comedy, I'm already happy. And if that is the end goal, I already have it. So I think.
But you worked in IT too, right?
I did, but I was miserable. I mean, now I enjoy it. Now that I'm doing comedy, now I even enjoy my IT, because I quit my job for a couple of years, but I actually learn stuff on my own. I'm learning machine language libraries, and I was doing stuff on the side just because I'm enjoying it. And going back to my kids, I think me doing comedy, I could see that makes my kids see the world in a different way, that I think they don't have to stress. I have to, even my older kid, he asked me one day, he's like, "Dad, are you doing comedy? I don't think you're going to have much money for my college." And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to have much money for college, but I gave you my genes. And for him, I told him, by the time you finish college, I want you to find out what makes you happy, and figure out a way to make a living in that. It doesn't have to be this or that. Just figure out a way to be happy. And I think me doing it also shows them the path, that this is doable and this can be done. So I just want them to be happy. When they grow up, I want them to live their life doing something that makes them happy, fulfilled. And I think that's more than I can ever give them. Before the pandemic, my wife would be like, "Hey Vishnu, you think we are soulmates?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." But after the pandemic, I started acting like I did not hear the question. We fought so much, man. We fought about everything. We fought about me smoking inside the house. I don't smoke. It was a hypothetical fight. We both are watching TV, and some dude in TV is smoking inside his house. Got nothing to do with this. I wasn't even paying attention. just sitting there because she wanted me to sit there. I hated the movie. And she looks at me and she goes, Vishnu, if you were to smoke, I don't think you should smoke inside the house. I could have kept my mouth shut and would have been fine. But for some reason, I was like, I'll smoke wherever the fuck I want to smoke.
To make other people laugh, to bring their mental health to a better level. And of course, it's not just a medicine. We all need to laugh to live better. And YoIndiaTV's motto is live, laugh, love. So one of the reasons that we love comedians and we love people who make us laugh, who make us feel light, who make us feel better in life. Who, people like you, comedians like you, and particularly Indian Americans in US who have been able to establish themselves as comedians. A few years back, we interviewed Kabir Singh, who had attained 4th position in America's Got Talent, and unfortunately he passed away, and he is local to the Bay Area, and we don't have him anymore. But I know you guys were talking, you and your friend were talking, Ramakrishna. So
he's opening for me, both at San Jose and Ramakrishna RK is a comedian. He's opening for me tomorrow at San Jose Improv, and then Thursday 25th at Irvine Improv. He's friends with Kabir.
So, if you had any memories that you want to share with our viewers about how you felt about a local comedian who was also very successful in US.
You mean like a Indian American comedian?
Kabir.
I never met Kabir. I never met Kabir. Earlier you asked me what made you come into comedy, the Great American, why I call myself Great American, because I went to school here and college here, and people always try to like I'm someone else from somewhere else. And I see that, even in a lot of my Desi friends that grew up here, even though they're born and brought up here, they still don't have that belonging. They feel like an outsider. And that's why I want to own my Americanness. I'm like, I don't want to feel like outsider. If I feel like outsider, then other people can make me feel like outsider. And also through our history, one of the things that we were taken down as a culture, as a civilization, is by taking our pride. And it's time for us to rejuvenate our pride. Even in America, I notice a lot of times Indians, like for example, I used to tell this joke, like when I go to an interview and there are no other Indian guy interviewing me, I got the job. If it's an Indian guy, he feels bad to hire me because he doesn't want his white bosses to think that he is being favoritist. And no other culture does that. Only we do that to ourselves because we don't have pride. We don't believe, for you, if another Indian is good, and you still are afraid to present him to your white boss, then there is something wrong there. And that's one of the ways I'm like, I want to own it. I want to feel proud. My parents brought me here. I didn't want to come here, but now I'm here since I was 15, and nobody can tell me I don't belong here. This is my place just as much as theirs. And people say oh, then how can you be in love with India? I am in love with India. I'm in love with America. Israelis can do that. Italians can do that. English people do that. Nobody feels bad that they like their homeland and home culture and America. Why should I? I love America. I am a great American and I am a great Indian too. So.
Definitely, and we celebrate a lot of Indian festivals here. We also celebrate American festivals, as in 4th of July or Memorial Day, and we always keep saying Jai Hind, Jai America. Yeah. So, that's who we are. Yeah. That's well said, well put. So last but not the least, what's your message to all the viewers of YoIndiaTV who love to see you doing comedy and who would like to know your future plans and moves?
Oh, well, advice, right? Okay, be proud, don't be greedy.
And any future projects in pipeline?
Well, I'm touring right now. I'm going to be in New Jersey next, and then I'm going to go to be Orlando. All my dates, I'm putting them on vishnuvaka.com, and hopefully by end of this year, I might shoot a special. I'm not sure yet, but I might. That's the next step.
Thank you so much and wish you all success.
Thank you so much. Thank you.